We're gonna do some core strengthening. We might even do Pincha Mayurasana, some forearm balancing, if that sounds appealing. So definitely grab yourself either a block or a rolled up towel, a pillow would work, because we're gonna use that to squeeze with the inner thighs and get our core strong. Good for the new year. So we'll start seated however you'd like and just welcome in that full 3-part breath, feeling that low belly activate and sitting up nice and tall in your lower back. Maybe setting the intention today to feel centered and letting all stiffness and fatigue go with your breath out. And we'll take 2 more deep breaths, ideally in through the nose, out through your nose or mouth. And on your next breath out, we'll relax your chin towards your chest and go ahead and let your upper back round. We're gonna reach for your knees, press your knees down, but lift up through your hands. Kind of coming into that hare pose, upper back, stretching the shoulders apart. 1 more breath. And then we'll release your knees, shrug your shoulders way up, and roll your shoulders down. Good. And we'll come right over into table. You can move off your block. So in table, we're going to be working into the forearms today. Spread out all 10 fingers. Try to rotate those inner elbows forward so your chest is open. And we'll go ahead and take your right leg back. Press through the ball of that right foot. We'll go ahead and reach the left arm forward. We're just seeing how that feels in that right wrist. 1 more breath. I'm keeping the ball of the foot on the mat. Exhale, release, come into a cat tilt. Just let that head dangle. And we'll inhale through table, pass through your cow tilt, looking up, strengthening your back. Exhale back into table, second side. So we'll take the left leg back, press through the ball of the foot, right arm's gonna extend. So kind of our modified plank with 1 arm off. Hold for 1 more breath. Really lift that low belly up. We'll exhale, release. Taking your cat tilt, hold the scoop this time, head into child's pose. And we're going to be more active in the child's pose today. Tip the tailbone under, breathe out and scoop. Good. And then we'll inhale back up into table. Exhale right into downward dog. And go ahead and walk through your feet in down dog. Take any version that would feel good. We're still just getting the body warmed up. Feel the lift in the lower belly. Good. And let's start to walk your feet up towards your hands. Take lots of little steps. When you get up to the top of your mat, bend your knees, hug the back of the calves and pull yourself into a strong Uttanasana. And then we'll release. Bring your hands to the front of the shins. Press your shins back, grow the crown of the head forward, maybe come to straight legs if you're ready. Feel the back and the belly work together to lengthen your spine. 1 more breath. And then again, pull the back of the calves, Uttanasana. Breathe out. Good. We'll relax your arms now. Take your time bending your knees and slowly curling up. Heavy hands and head. Good. When you get up to the top, we're going to roll through some sun salutes. So take your time, finding your feet, feeling ears over shoulders, over ribs, over hips. We'll just take 1A, 1B today to get warmed up. So pressing both sides of the feet down. Inhale, reach out to come up. Feel the core muscles help you get closer to your legs as you swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, and we'll step right back into plank. Lower in one piece. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, back up in one piece. Downward dog for 3 breaths. And just notice here what's going on in the wrists and arms. Lift the belly up so you take some weight out of those wrists, and we'll step up. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale. Inhale, sweep out and up. Exhale, and do 1 round to B. Chair pose, and feel free to move slower if you need to. Exhale. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or jump back and really try to hover, hugging those elbows in. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg's gonna step up. Plant those feet, sweep up. Virabhadrasana 1. Open heart. Exhale, flow forward. Hover. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, so you're really lifting those hips up. Second side. Good, feeling that lift off both hips. Another vinyasa. Just keep that breath moving out. 3 breaths. Good, and then step or hop up. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale. We'll bend the knees, come back through chair. Draw those upper arms back. Exhale, stand. Good. So warming right up, getting into some preparations for our warrior 3 today. So taking stork, just find your balance, relax your shoulders down. Feel that navel drawn in towards your lower back. So you lift off both hips. We're gonna inhale the arms out and up, pulling those low back muscles long. Good, and we'll exhale, release. Second side, just a couple of breaths on each side to test your balance. Stork with the left leg up. And if you're feeling fancy, you can look over your shoulder, testing that balance. Maybe taking the arms up, activating your lower back. Good, breathing out. And we'll release. Good, and let's just shake everything out. Before we get into that warrior 3, let's loosen up the back a little more. So we're gonna take that floppy twist, just letting the arms spiral. You might even tap your kidneys here in the back, working on our immune system. Good, we'll come back through the center. Nice, so let's add a little twist to our stork pose. We'll take our right knee up again, left hand to outside of the right thigh, press the 2 together. Feel that outer hip activate. My right arm's gonna come to the lower back. So let me turn around so you can see. So you're here, press into that low back so you can lift, and then maybe look over that back shoulder. One more breath. Good, and we'll release back to the center. Exhale, shake it out. Second side. So you're trying to think up and around. Left leg's gonna come up. Good, right hand to outer left thigh. Press the 2 together to lift. Pressing with the left hand, taking your twist. And you can keep your gaze forward if that helps your balance. Good, feel those strong oblique abdominals. One more breath, beautiful. Release. Good, let's shake it out. To stretch out the back, we're gonna take a moderate squat here. So widen your feet and just come forward. Good sway side to side or come into a lower squat. Just release your back. Good. And then we'll slowly curl back up. All right. So I think we have a little message on the thing. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna come back into our stork pose and we'll kick into warrior 3 this time. So you're just seeing where your balance and your breath is for you today. From your stork, hands can stay right here at the hips to feel even or come into the full pose. So we're gonna start to kick back, squeezing those inner thighs together. Maybe you just tilt halfway over or all the way into your Virabhadrasana 3. Pulling your heel away from the crown of the head. And maybe bend that standing leg, feel empowered. We'll do one more breath. Strong belly to back. Inhale, come back through your stork. Exhale, release. Good. So we're aiming for 5 to 8 breaths on each side. Second side, you could always hold onto the wall, whatever you need. Good. Feel even in the hips. And I like to imagine that narrow hallway here so we don't open your hip. Reach through the heel as you start to kick back. Super strong hamstring here, lifting right under your sits bone on that left hip. Maybe bending that standing leg. Good, so keeping those legs hip distance. One more breath. And then we'll inhale, come up. Good, exhale, release. We're gonna come right into a half of a sun salute to keep moving. Inhale. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step right back into downward dog. And just feel that lower back stretch out. We'll do one more breath. Use your breath out to bring knees to the mat. Take a few breaths in half dog. We'll start to open the chest and shoulders. So hips stay high, chin or forehead to the mat. Good, and just relaxing the lower back. Let's melt into any version of child's pose. Release. Good, and then we'll slowly come up to a seat. All right, so we're gonna get into our forearm balance mode now. If you have your block handy, you can hold that block between the index fingers and the thumbs. If you don't have a block, no big deal, but you want your arms to be chest width. We're gonna start in plank, everybody's favorite, forearm plank. So I'll use the block here. It also helps you ground down through that index finger and thumb side of the hand. So coming into your forearm plank with the booties down. So hips lower than the shoulders, breathe out. And we're just gonna be here. Feeling grateful for our strength. Lift the belly up. If you wanna make it more challenging, you can lift the leg up for a breath or two without lifting your hips up. And I'm focusing on reaching through the heels. One more big breath out. Good, we'll exhale, knees to the mat. Come back into child's pose. Good, and just breathe all the way out. Nice, and then we're gonna come back up into table so you can see. So our goal today is gonna be lifting the hips up in either a full Panchamayurasana or our forearm preparation with one leg up. If you have your block, put that block in between the inner thighs so we can really activate and squeeze through the inner thighs. We're gonna come back into our forearm plank. Feeling now the legs super, super active. So I'm squeezing, I'm pressing through the forearms and balls of the feet, energizing out of the crown of the head. So really active legs. And we'll stay here for 3 more long breaths, lifting the belly up as you breathe out, feeling that Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha active. Last breath. And we'll release, knees to the mat, shift. Let's take our block out. We'll use that in a minute. And come all the way down into Sphinx pose. And here, just checking in that the elbows didn't get wide, but wrists, elbows, and shoulders in 2 straight lines. If this is too back bendy for you, walk your hands further out to the front. If this is easy for you, you can stretch out your core by coming into King Cobra, extending the arms. So whatever feels right. Let's release your neck. Good. And then let's take a pause here. Come all the way down. We'll make a pillow for your forehead. And just release the belly into the floor. Nice. We'll do 1 more big breath out. Good. And we'll bring your hands under your shoulders. We're going to press slowly back into the best full plank you've done yet this class. Pressing down, lift up in one piece. Exhale, downward dog. Feeling that core nice and strong. Walk your feet a little bit closer to your hands. You can bend your knees if that feels too tight on the hamstrings. And then looking at both forearms here, try to bring both forearms down to the mat and back up. So the back up part is harder. The closer your feet are to your hands, the easier. Lowering and lifting. And let's just go for 3 good ones. Without letting the elbows get wide, we'll end with the forearms down on the mat. Push your chest back, release your neck. Good. And then we'll exhale, knees to the mat, and just come back into a comfortable seat. All right, so moving right along, we're gonna take that block again in between the inner thighs, coming into our forearm preparation. We won't go up because we're gonna squeeze the block. So if you have that prop, we'll stick it in there. If not, just come down, measure that chest width. Palms are facing the mat, all 10 fingers are spread out. We're gonna lift up into that downward dog shape, maybe walking your feet closer. And just feeling that nice energy through the inner thighs, lifting the hips up. Breathing out. Good. And ideally, you have an upper back bend here. So chest is reaching back, we're looking forward. 1 more full breath. And we'll exhale, release. You can take the block out if you're using that. Child's pose, let's bring your arms back by your feet. Good. And then we'll go ahead and sit up. All right, so being truthful here and practicing our non-harming, we're gonna think about heading all the way into a forearm balance today. I'll demonstrate a modified version, and then I'll give you time if you wanna move to a wall or a closed door for that support. You also will have the option of keeping that block in between the inner thighs and pressing up, and I would use a wall definitely for that version. So now we're gonna set up the same way, maybe taking a leg up this time. If you wanna just test the balance, lift that bottom heel up, and then we'll switch sides. That's not for you today. You could keep both feet on the mat, reaching through the heels, lifting the hips up. So lifting that heel up really shifts your weight, hips come more over the shoulders. And take a few breaths on each side. When you're ready to come down, slowly bring the knees down, come into child's pose. Good. And then we'll go ahead and come on up. So those of you knowing that you're not going to take the legs up, you can do one more round, just like we did in the center. Those of you that want to try this pose with the block, it really activates not only the inner thighs, but all the way into the pelvic floor. So I'll demonstrate here at the wall. So I would come pretty close to the wall. We're not doing scorpion, just Pincha Mayurasana. Using that block to help you activate, you would come up, lifting here. Maybe, finding that energy. Actually, you can't lift one leg up at a time. So maybe bringing the heels up, squeezing that block, pressing up, and then to come all the way into the pose, we will not use the block. Coming up this way, one leg at a time. And then trying to come away from the wall. So imagine you have that block in between your inner thighs. And if we had someone could stick that block in there, and then we'll rest. So finding your version of the pose. Let's stay 2 more breaths. Look that the elbows didn't get wide on you as we get more tired here. And then let's all release, come back into child's pose. Let's bring your arms back by your feet. And just rock a little bit side to side. Good, and then we'll go ahead and sit up. We're gonna do lots of shoulder opening now. So when you're ready, come back into table. Good. So even if you're not taking one leg up or both legs up in Pincha, you're feeling that core strength and that inner thigh energy to lift the hips more up over the shoulders. A lot of these arm balances are about our core strength. Right arm's gonna come up, open your chest, exhale, thread the needle. Press through that left hand, really twist today. Leaning down into your right shoulder. And this left arm could come around or to the lower back. Opening the heart, and we'll exhale. Come back up through table. Reopen that arm so your chest is open. Exhale. Good, feeling grateful for strong and supple shoulders. Left arm, use your breath out. Thread the needle. Breathing out. And this right arm could come up or to the lower back. Good. And then we'll slowly bring your right hand down, pass through table, re-extend that left arm. And we'll release. Okay, so let's do one for the triceps here. We're gonna cross the ankles just to help you ground more into the lower body. Bring your elbows to the mat, palms together, and just see how this goes. Reaching the hips back, letting the chest come through. Press those elbows down. Stretching the triceps and your chest. Good, and then we'll release those arms. Inhale, come back into table. We're gonna do one more downward dog. Feeling the open shoulders and chest. And if it would feel good, you could take a leg up, rotate that hip open, bend the knee, maybe bend your bottom knee. Maybe step back if you're used to that practice. Into a back bend, opening the core muscles. And we'll shoot the leg back up. And second side. So even if you're not taking your back bend, you're opening the hip, get a nice diagonal stretch across the abs, opening those obliques, and then carefully stepping back if you choose to. Good, and we'll come back up. Your choice, jump up, jump through, or step up. And we'll have a seat. And let's just come right into Baddha Konasana. Opening your feet, Exhale, head towards your feet. And you're just gonna come into any soft shape here. Moving into our lunar phase. Breathing out. Good, melting through the hips. Good, can you stop mine? Thank you. And then we'll slowly come on up. Good. So we did a lot of strengthening for the chest, all the muscles around the shoulders and the abdominal muscles. We're gonna just soften now. So let's come into cow face pose. This is a great all-in-one releasing pose for the hips and shoulders. If you choose to, you could try to work those shins more towards the top edge of the mat. If you don't feel comfortable in the knees here, use your lift to sit on. We're gonna open those hips. So finding both sits bones down into the floor, left arm's gonna come up. Go ahead and use your other hand to really spin that arm around. Palm facing behind you. Touch the space between the shoulders. So this is our tricep lengthener. Press your head into your arm. And just take a moment here to find the length in your spine. Then we'll take the right arm behind, turning it in. See if you can touch fingertips or grab your shirt. And we're gonna pull on the hands or the shirt, reach the elbows apart. And let's just take a moment here. Close your eyes. Breathing out anything that no longer serves you. Good. And then if you want to go deeper, you can come forward from here. We'll use your inhale to lead through that top elbow to come up. Good. Release your arms. We're going to do one more here. So this is my right arm is going to come on top for our eagle stretch for the shoulders. Wrap the elbows. Lift your hands up. Squeeze the forearms together. If you want to go deeper, once you lift up, then scoop in. And we're going to squeeze the arms. One more breath. Let your head release. Inhale, lengthen. Good. And let go. Let's just roll the shoulders around. We'll come up into boat to change legs. So any version of boat, you need to support behind your thighs so you can lift out of that lower back or take the full pose. And then we'll release, second side. So this time my left leg's on top. And wiggle around so you can feel that left sits bone down into the mat or the block. Right arm's gonna come up. And we'll spin it out. Bring your elbow back. Trying to find that lift in your spine. When you're ready, so I'm pressing my head into my arm, turn that left arm inward. And the two sides might be different. Very easy to let your ribs go here. See if you can hug the front ribs together as you sit up tall. Breathing out. And then you decide if you want to tilt forward. When you're ready, lengthen through that top arm. Good. We'll release. Unhook your arms. Left arm's going to come up. Taking our Gardasana wrap. So squeeze the forearms, lift up, opening that upper back. Maybe scoop in. Just keep moving the breath out. And then we'll use your inhale to release. Beautiful. Undo the arms, roll those shoulders around. Let's unhook the legs. We're gonna skip our boat because we'll do some more in a minute. Just shake out your legs. Okay, so we did a lot of squeezing with the block today. Let's open those inner thighs now. We're gonna come in either into a moderate straddle or a squat shape for a deeper inner hip opener. This one is gonna stretch the hamstrings. This one is not. This is a little bit more challenging on the inner hips. So whatever your favorite is, we're gonna come forward. Breathing into those inner thighs. You're in your straddle, getting into those hamstrings. And again, staying active through your core and all these forward bends to bring you closer to the floor. Last breath out. Inhale, lengthen to come up. Good, and we'll shake those legs out, bring them together. Okay, for everybody's favorite, curling down. So if you wanna place that block back in between the inner thighs today to get that energy through the legs and Mula Bandha, go for it. And then we'll just do 5 today. So we're starting to head down. You guys can see from this view if I lift my heels up, so I'm trying to press the heels into the floor. That's 1. Using your breath out on the hard stuff. So I take another in breath, breathe out as you curl up. Good, breathing in. We're already on 3. Time flies when you're having fun. Good. 2 more. Notice if your neck is working harder than your abs. You could always bend the knees at any point. In our grand finale. Good. And then we're going to curl all the way down. Keep your block handy if you like to use that for a supported bridge. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my back better. And we'll go ahead and come all the way down to the back. Hug your knees in. And let's just make some circles with your knees, both directions. Massaging the lower back. Good, and we're gonna move into some active twists today. So if you want, you could put that block back in there. Knees are gonna stay over hips. Even if you're not using the block, go ahead and line up right angle at the knee, right angle at the hip, and we're gonna try to keep that as we lower the legs a few inches or all the way down to the right, which is harder to come back up from, keeping the knees over the hips. And we'll keep going, right and left, 3 sets. So I like to really press the arms down, shoulders down, so you get that chest opener. And again, using that exhale to come up. 1 more round. Good. This time when you lower the legs to the right, we're gonna stay there and enjoy a twist. If you want, take your block away, maybe extend the legs straight into your right hand. That feels good on your back. Twists are so good for detoxing. Really breathe out. And then when you're ready, rebend your knees if they were extended. Come on up and to your left. And again, full breaths out. Beautiful. Good. And wait for that last exhale to come back up. And let's come right into our happy baby pose. So first, just rock gently side to side. You could pull a knee down towards the mat if that feels good. And then we're going to come back into the center for a little upper abdominal work. So scoop your belly, reach through the legs, breathe out, scoop the shoulders off the mat, reach a little higher with the right, left, left, one more right, getting higher left, and then we'll release, bring the elbows to the back of the knees, press your knees down. If that doesn't work, you could grab your shins, but really open those inner hips. Tailbone's gonna come up. Beautiful. And then we'll exhale, release. And let's just bring the feet to the mat. If you choose support for your bridge, have your block close in. Just trying to open the front now. If your neck is healthy, you could try bridge with the arms overhead today. So only if that feels okay on your neck. We're gonna keep that energy down through the feet. You could also be active here, squeezing the block yet again. So start to flow up into your Setu Bandhasana. Maybe lifting the heels up, keeping your neck easeful. Really feeling those strong hamstrings here, pressing the feet down, opening the thighs, front of the hips, and the entire front body. We'll do one more breath. Beautiful. And then slowly use your abdominal muscles to come down. And if the arms are overhead, float them down. We'll take our block out. Let's just come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Opening the front and starting to slow down. Good. Let's take one more full breath in, relaxing the belly, breathing all the way out. Lovely. And we'll lower your left leg down, hug your right knee in, and we're going to use your breath out. Exhale, head to knee. Hold there. We're going to try to extend the leg with the head up. And we'll lower shoulders and head. Good. And then you're going to play here. Any hamstring stretch that would feel good. Could open. You could cross and keep the hips on the mat, getting into that outer hip. Or big twist. Keeping that right leg extended. Good. And then wherever you are, bring your leg back up to the ceiling. Reach the arms overhead. And we're going to hold this one for 2 breaths. Warrior 3 pose on your back. Press all those vertebrae down. Keep the back from arching. One more breath. And then we'll use the quad and the core to slowly lower that leg. Pulling the spine long, beautiful. And then gently release everything. Turn the legs in and out, head side to side. And we'll take our second side. So hugging the left knee in, breathing out, head to knee. Feeling that strong core, staying up today as you extend the legs straight. And then we'll lower shoulders and head. And playing with your own version here of your hamstring stretch. And I'm trying really hard here not to let my back arch. Press the navel down. Maybe taking a little twist or a big one. Good. And then we'll use that exhale to come back up for our super strong warrior 3 on your back. So releasing the leg, pull that right heel down, reach through the crown of the head, 2 breaths. And then press the belly down. Be slow to lower that left leg. And then gently release. All right, so we're gonna take one restorative pose before Shavasana, constructive rest pose. So let's bend the knees. Feet are gonna be hip distance to start. Then pigeon toe your feet. So heels go out, knees should just fall in towards each other. That opens the lower back. Cross your arms either below the breastbone or overhead today, if that feels better for you. This is a bit more of a back bend. This is more of a shoulder opener. And just take a few breaths for yourself, feeling even, giving yourself a hug. And just allow yourself to segue into some deeper, slower breaths. And then if you'd like to stay here for Shavasana, feel free, or just slowly extend the limbs out. And take a moment, make any shifts that you need to feel comfortable. And I'll guide you through a chakra balancing. Feel free to stay, and I'll just do our sign off at the end. So finding that smooth, even breath. Visualize looking down at yourself from above. And see your body glowing with light. See your pelvic floor glowing red. Feel safe. See your lower back glowing orange. Feel creative. See your upper abdomen like a golden sun, glowing yellow. Feel strong. See your chest and upper back glowing green. Feel loving. See your neck glowing blue. Feel clear and truthful. Forehead, indigo. Feel wise. And see the top of the head, purple. Feel connected to the universal source. Simply enjoy being. And feel free to stay, or if you like, come up to a comfortable seat. Om Mani Padme Hum. Compassion to all sentient beings. Shanti. Peace. Namaste.